So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. I'm on the road. Obviously, I've been moving around, and it looks like California just got slapped, and it's gonna hurt them bad because this isn't just about defunding CARB. The money that's been pulled back here affects the California Highway Patrol, and most importantly, those roadside smog checks and all the other harassing BS that the state of California does. The federal government's not paying for that anymore. California ain't gonna pay for it. Roll the intro. So yeah, that's right, guys. Welcome on back to TK's Garage. Before we get into the video, I gotta talk about our giveaway that is closing out. There is a video dropping this evening. If you're looking at trying to get extra entries, it will be one of the last giveaways I do solo here on the channel, as if we're gonna do cars moving forward. We're gonna be doing them via our website, goafterspeed.com. That's myself, Butter the Insider, and OC Motivator. So if you want to get entered in on this Dodge Challenger RT, it's probably going to be the last one that we do here solo on the channel. And we're going to do something special in terms of entries. That video will be dropping later today if you're seeing this one, which I believe it'll be like on a Tuesday when this video drops. So you'll see the other video up once, they said it would be Tuesday when they got the store situated to be able to do it. So there you have it. You can go to tk'sgarage.com, pick up any of the merch, or pick up any of the merch down here below the video that goes over to tk'sgarage.com to get entered. And the video will be dropping this evening telling you how many entries you get for whatever purchases you make. So stay tuned for that. It will be dropping this evening. Anyways, getting into today's video. So California is the only state out of the other 49 out of the 50 states complied with the DOT's rules about English proficiency. California basically said, nah, we're not doing that, and tried to call Sean Duffy's bluff at the Department of Transportation, and Sean Duffy ain't playing. He just did an interview. I'm gonna roll that for you here in full, and then we're gonna come back and discuss.
Welcome back. The state of California ignoring another federal mandate. The Transportation Department giving a 30-day deadline to the state back in August to comply with its rule requiring truck drivers to be proficient in English. California completely snubbing that rule. So now, exclusive tonight, the Transportation Department is announcing that it will withhold more than $40 million in federal funds from the state for its downright refusal to enforce this rule. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy joins me now to discuss. It is a pleasure to have you on the program, Secretary Duffy. Talk to me a little bit about why you're doing this. It is dangerous when the state does not comply with these rules for truckers, and it steals jobs from the American people. Those are two big ones.
Yes, first off, Jackie, it's great to be with you. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, this is really simple. It's a long-standing rule that hadn't been enforced by prior administrations, but to drive an 18-wheeler, a semi, a school bus, you have to speak English and you have to understand English. And you should be tested for this when you take your CDL exam. A lot of states weren't doing it. We sent out notices to all the states that they have to start to comply. All the states have complied, but one. That would be California. Gavin Newsom cares more about illegal migrants than he does about the safety of his citizens or the citizens around the country. And so we use what tools that we can. And we have $40 million of funding that goes to the state of California. And by the way, it goes for their highway patrol officers. And I support the highway patrol. Donald Trump supports the highway patrol. But Gavin Newsom supports illegals over his own highway patrol to keep the roads safe. And so because they haven't complied, we'll use the tools that we have to make sure we make California pay attention to basic safety regulations, which is English language behind the truck, behind the big wheels of these big rigs. And just real quick, Jackie, there have been so many semi crashes across the country that relate back to drivers who can't speak the language or they don't understand road signs minimally incredibly dangerous for anyone who drives on our roadways.
And so I have to ask you what the response is from the state and from people like Gavin Newsom. Obviously, they weren't taking this seriously. I think they'll probably look at it a little bit more seriously now. But who can make the justification that somebody should be driving a truck that doesn't speak English, can't communicate with law enforcement, can't read signs, and put people in danger? Who can justify that?
Well, I don't know. Gavin Newsom seems to think that he can. But again, it is these big 18-wheelers that we see on our roadways. But these are drivers who can drive your school bus as well. Take your kids to school that don't speak the language.
Right.
And again, when they can't understand signs, we saw the infamous crash down in Florida where a truck driver was doing a U-turn on a four-lane highway. That's insanity. But these are the kind of risks that some of these drivers take when they don't understand the rules, they don't understand our culture, but they also don't understand, if a crash happens, how to communicate with law enforcement. And so we're going to take all the actions we can in this administration to keep people safe. Again, Gavin Newsom may not care about safety, but I'm going to do all I can to make sure that I prevent the next cataclysmic accident that takes someone's life. And if that's taking money away from Gavin Newsom, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Okay, let's talk about deregulation. It's something that the president campaigned on in many different areas. You are doing that at the Department of Transportation, 157 deregulatory actions and saving $1.3 billion for taxpayers. Talk to me about how it works.
Sure. Off the top, first, we've stopped the DEI and the climate crazy policies from the last administration. It's moving projects faster and more cost effectively. That's number one. But simple things like speed limiters in big rigs was a safety issue for our semis. We had the ability of foreign manufacturers in the EV market able to come in and test their products, their new cars, their new technology in America, where American developers, American manufacturers didn't have the same right to produce those same vehicles in our country. We gave the benefit in the last administration to foreign competitors. We've taken those rules away as well. We've got rid of the California high-speed rail, saving billions of dollars. Here's what's on the horizon, a little foreshadowing, Jackie. We're going to save billions of dollars by getting rid of the fuel economy standards that are set way too high that no combustion engine can meet, costing each car to the tune of thousands of dollars for the end consumer. We're in the process of getting rid of those rules, bringing down the cost of a car, and again, saving the American family a lot of money when they purchase the new vehicle.
Fair enough. $1.3 billion. I will take it, and so will the taxpayers.
Just starting to, Jackie. They were just beginning.
Yeah. Secretary Duffy, let me also ask you about the shutdown, day 15. 13,000 air traffic controllers. They are working without pay. This is a clear case where the Democrats want to squeeze the Republicans to get what they want with their health care agenda by causing pain for government employees and also, in this specific instance, for the rest of the American people. How does this play out?
Well, listen, I don't know how long Democrats are going to keep us shut down, how long they want to fight for illegal immigrants' health care or funding for foreign entities, crazy funding for countries around the world. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'll tell you this. Our air traffic controllers, for the most part, are showing up. We have a few that are calling in sick. But I'll tell you this. I've talked to a lot of them, Jackie. They're angry at Chuck Schumer that he would put illegals ahead of their paychecks, makes them incredibly angry.
Yeah.
And so, I went through many of these shutdowns. Jackie, if you think back, in 2009, the government shut down while Republicans were trying to secure the border, build a wall per President Trump's campaign promise. Democrats wouldn't allow that to happen, and the government shut down. So then under Joe Biden, we had millions of migrants come into the country. And now that they're in the country, Democrats want to provide them health care.
Yeah.
I don't know how a national party can work by fighting for people who are non-citizens, all the while abandoning the very people that can vote to put them in office. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I think there's going to be a substantial backlash. What I'm doing here at DOT, we have too many important things. Again, like we're trying to modernize our air traffic control system. I'm trying to bring more air traffic controllers into the system. I can't let this shutdown get us to deviate from the good work that we're doing, because 6 months from now, Jackie, everyone will forget the shutdown, and they'll want to know where I was at, what progress I've made. We are going to continue to forge forward the best we can. even though Democrats are trying to get us off really important work on behalf of the American people.
Yeah, I think the American people see through it. The longer it goes on, the more the issues come to the surface. They realize also, Secretary Duffy, that this was something that was litigated in the big, beautiful bill. It was settled. And now the Democrats trying to go back on it and trying to change the rules on the Obamacare subsidies. We are out of time, but it always is a pleasure to have.
So what does this mean? Well, the EPA had already pulled all funding for the California Air Resource Board. They don't get a dollar. That's why the California Air Resource Board pulled back all of their grants. They're not giving out any money. They can't even pay their own employees. A lot of employees have been leaving. They've been laying people off. They don't have any money. Now, this next step is another stab in the side, so to speak, a shank in between the ribs, as this money, which starts at $40 million, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot of money to the California Highway Patrol, and it's a lot of money for the California Air Resource Board to use BAR, the Bureau of Automotive Repair, and California Highway Patrol to conduct these roadside smog tests, these roadside emissions tests on semi-trucks and RVs and all this other crap. Right now, all of that funding that they were using for that came from the federal government. It was not coming from anything they did in the state. What the state was doing was basically letting the federal government pay for them to do those, what I call, unconstitutional activities, and it allowed the state to profit then money off of fines if they found somebody that wasn't in compliance. Now, we already saw, and I kind of figured this was coming down the line, when the California Air Resource Board put out this thing, and I did a video on this last week, where they're doing enforcement by email. Come on, man, you can't do that. You're gonna send, you don't even have time to stop somebody, but now if somebody takes a picture of somebody's truck, if there's smoke or something that came off of a truck, you're now gonna send them a fine via email. Please miss me with that. That's complete BS. Anyways, I digress. This is good news. It is going to force California into compliance, because the next amount of funding that gets pulled is closer to $100 million, and that would happen next week. And that would go directly against the California Highway Patrol. It would pull away money that the state of California is using to basically fund the California Highway Patrol. Right now, the money that pays for the California Air Resource Board, the California Highway Patrol, and other transportation-esque projects, they're insolvent, meaning they don't have any money. They're passing out IOUs right now. So the tyranny or the BS that goes on in California is going to be forced to be coming to an end, and I'm all here for it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.
For the longest time. Whoa. For the longest time.
Percocet, Miley Percocet, Miley